Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. This week we're coming to you from, if you guessed Salmon Grove Development, then you're right. We're coming to you from Villa 123, that's Sea Glass Villa. Of course, I'm your host, Davia Chambers, and we're going to head inside. But before we head inside and tell you a lineup of stories, I can assure you that you're going to enjoy this week's episode. Let's go. This week, we're sharing with you highlights from a Labour Sexual Harassment Forum, World Wildlife Day 2023 celebrations, and the Chief Secretary's T10 cricket competition will blast off next month. It's all happening in this week's Let's Talk Tobago. Paradise awaits you at Sea Glass Villa. This 4-bedroom luxury villa is located in a quiet and secure gated development close to the airport and beaches. Sea Glass Villa sleeps up to 12 guests. There is a private pool, and the well-groomed surroundings and the lakes make the environment very park-like. Guests will enjoy the very quiet, private, and peaceful surroundings. So Sea Glass Villa is safe and secure, but what should also be safe and secure is your work environment. So the Department of Labour, under the Office of the Chief Secretary, hosted a sexual harassment forum. We're going to take you there right now.
The Tertiary is preparing for the implementation of the National Policy on Sexual Harassment in the Workplace. In doing so, HR managers, officers and supervisors from both the public and private sectors participating in a seminar hosted by the Department of Labour.
Public-private partnerships has to be established to build capacity and increase resources, especially when considering how diverse the island of Tobago has now become. This partnership plays a pivotal role in generating, transferring knowledge to all people, employees, employers, and students.
By the time we get to 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, it is even more difficult to understand that consent is something that can be given, and consent is something that can be taken away, even in the midst of it.
We have had all of this in it. Females usually sexually harass men, and we all laugh about it. I experienced that in one of my workplaces. If you're having a consensual relationship and somebody broke it off, you cannot now come and claim that the person sexually harassed you, because it was welcome and it was reciprocated. So it's not sexual harassment. When the act is assented to, there will be some definite responsibilities that the employer will be mandated to do within a specified time frame, right? So you have to formulate a written policy statement against sexual harassment within the workplace. Bring the policy statement to the attention of every member of staff.
The seminar was hosted at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort.
Nature is simply amazing, and as the globe celebrated World Wildlife Day most recently, Tobago also joined in the celebrations. How, you may ask? Well, we're going to take you to Scarborough Botanical Gardens to see.
Reptiles such as iguanas and snakes, mammals like monkeys, a variety of birds, and many more wild game were on display at Tobago's inaugural World Wildlife Exhibition at Scarborough's Botanical Gardens. Themed Partnership for Wildlife Conservation, the event was a collaboration between the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, and the Wildlife Association of Tobago.
While we as an association do our best to conserve and protect and educate about the importance of wildlife, we need others other stakeholders such as the THA, schools, groups to partner with us so that we can spread the message for protection, preservation, education, so that we can ensure sustainable development so that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we can have species existing here in Tobago.
Partnership in all that we do is important, especially for conservation. No one person, no one group can fully appreciate, not only appreciate, but sell the appreciation or market the appreciation of our wildlife resources or our natural resources. And therefore we need to come together to market that appreciation for the entire landscape of Tobago.
In all of that, I think the collaboration is good, that we could help preserve the animals that is indigenous to Tobago especially. They are extremely important because they help the ecosystem to strike that balance between the birds have a part to play in keeping some of the pests around at bay, the iguanas have their role to play, the yardie have the role to play in picking the little things around the yard. The set of flies, we have more yard full around, we got less flies. So everything have its part to play. Once we understand that, then we could now move different. We just have to change where we think and see things and better understand the purpose of everything.
I love seeing the snakes and also the monkey.
The one-day event was also a good time for game wardens and environmentalists to remind the public that the hunting season is closed. This is vital for the repopulation and conservation of our wild animals. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
If you're in Tobago from April 4th to 8th, I'll need you to add this event to your itinerary, the Chief Secretary's T10 Blast Cricket Competition. Here's all the information you need to know.
The pitch is set. The date is set. Now, in its third year of running, it's time to choose the players that will lead their teams to battle in the annual Chief Secretary's T10 Cricket Blast 2023. And our cameras were there for the draw.
And it's about selecting the additional players to make up your full complement of 14. Two players from Trinidad. We do have one player retained from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then we're going to have the other players coming from right here in Tobago. So once again, we have 4 teams with us this year, 4 franchises, should I say. The Little Tobago Islanders, the Fort King George Gunners, Rainforest Rangers, and the Bucko Reef Divers. Orlando James will now lead that Little Tobago Islanders. Keishon Dillon was retained as captain of the Fort King George Gunners. And the captain of Rainforest Rangers, once again, Ansel Ned. And the captain of Bucko Reef Divers, once again, Jaron Alfred.
It's always good for the competition itself, getting that other competition, making sure that the competition is, somewhat more exciting because there are a number of players here to showcase their talent. So I have no problem with the competition. I'm just looking forward to it.
The Chief Secretary's Cricket T10 Blast will run from April 4th to the 8th at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex in Roxborough. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're going to take a break right now, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
When the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road.
A brown skin. Girl, I wanna rock you. Lift up your head and hold it up high.
So what if you could help clean the ocean of microplastics just by heading out to fish? Well, the village of Palo Tuvia is introducing Trinidad and Tobago to a new boat engine powered by Suzuki that can do just that. Let's hit the waves right now to learn more.
The Clean Ocean project is an international project that is put out
by the international Suzuki International. Basically, what they're asking all the dealers to do is every year to do, something for the marine environment. So today we in Palatuvere, we are doing the launch of the first microplastic Suzuki 140 in Trinidad and Tobago. The owner of the engine is Mr. Carlos Peters. The reason why we really want to, push this engine is because of what the engine actually does. Inside of the engine, there's a microplastic filter. So while the engine is out at sea operating, doing its normal thing, it filters the ocean and helps with the whole ocean cleanup that Suzuki is trying to promote worldwide. What the engine will take out of the ocean is the microplastic, that is harmful for us humans, even in our bloodstreams right now, and even in the fish that we eat right now. Because these plastics are, like I say, micro, they end up inside of smaller fishes. Big fish eat small fish, and then we eat the fish.
The microplastic filter, once you own a 140 and a 150 Suzuki horsepower right now, we will be able to, for every fishing trip that you do, you will be slowly cleaning up the oceans with the microplastic filter.
I've got that Suzuki to airport and come with it because, in our country we have to step up with game. I'll be friendly. And when I hear about this, I say I'll come up here today to see the wonderful work. So I wish the rest follow very quickly.
While staying at Sea Glass Villa, you might decide you want to have a drink. Well, why not try a local brand like Tobago, which specializes in an array of beverages? Crystal George will tell us more in this story.
He makes products from Tobago and is also inspired by Tobago, with hopes of reaching the world. His brand, Tobago, offering an array of drinks including wines. And his main reason for getting into business was to give foreigners the opportunity to taste our local products whenever they hit our shores.
Well, the name came from our first settlers, that's the Amerindians, and because of the shape of the island. I deal with drinks, all right, local drinks, wines, rum punch, creams, punch creme. I thought it would be best to use that name to represent products made in the country itself. So wherever the product goes, a piece of Tobago goes with it. I think as a tourist-based country, we should have something local to offer outsiders, tourists, and not depend on goods coming from outside to give them when they come here. They didn't come for that experience, right? They come for something authentic, something local, something different. And this is what I do. Where grants and other, workshops are concerned, when it comes to learning various things about your own business, whether it be management, accounting, they have different workshops. They encourage young and small entrepreneurs alike. And like I said, 100% I would support them, right? I will tell anyone, BDU, people to liaise with.
Tobago is housed at the Signal Hill Micro Center. For more details, contact Kevin at 744-4550. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
And that's a wrap. That's how we end this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Be on the lookout for more stories again next week as we bring you our next episode. Now, for more information on Sea Glass Villa here at Salmon Grove Development, you can call 682-3436. I'm Davia Chambers saying see you next week. Do have a fantastic week.
It's time to go Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit digiceltt.com or a Digicel store now.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show. And everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show. And everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
In Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, folks, as we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Steve.
And I am Rhea Richardson George. And this is the day that
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is 7 a.m. And we are happy to welcome you here on set this morning. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Ski.
And I am Maria Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, those of you viewing in the Caribbean, and those of you viewing on the live. Good Monday morning to you.
It's that kind of excitement. It's that kind of excitement.
How are you today, Julian? How was the weekend?
Quite good, quite good. I really can't complain at all. A nice blend of relaxation in the mix, getting into one or two family type activities and so on. Really can't complain at all.
All right, well,
how was it for you?
It was pretty good. I actually spent most of it in Trinidad. I was at the student preparation hosted by 98.1 yesterday afternoon, and this took place at Jesus Elam Ministries in Barataria. So it was my first visit there. Beautiful location, beautiful assembly. And so we had parents coming out, and parents and students who are preparing for CSEC and CAPE examinations 2023 to get support and some study tips and ideas, how they can move forward for better success for 2023 examinations. So, but all in all, it was a good weekend. Went down safely, back up safely, and that's one of the most important things,
Yes, really crucial in the mix, and as we speak, Trinidad as well, we are historic moment today, once again for Trinidad and Tobago. We got the inauguration of a president leading the country, and we look forward to that. That's happening sometime this morning, but we should get some highlights coming out to us in our newscast. And at this point, we're heading straight on over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Ria. I am Candace Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 20th March, 2023. According to a newspaper article, some of Tobago's contractors are not bothered by the increase in cement prices because they see that the construction sector is dead. Cement is expected to increase by 5%, with a 42.5 kilogram bag now costing $47.83 before VAT, going up by $3.54. Contractors said that the only ongoing major work on the island was the construction of a few private buildings. They explained that the construction sector slowed down during the COVID-19 pandemic and had hoped that the present Farley Augustine-led administration would change that. However, they were disappointed. Meanwhile, in some sport, Tobago's Oceanus Dragon Boat Club won 2 gold medals and 1 silver at the Pan American Club Crew Championship in Panama over the weekend. The Tobago-based team competed against Dragon Boat teams from the US, Canada, the Caribbean, and Latin America. However, they proved to be a force to be reckoned with when they won 2 gold medals on day 1 of the competition. While they captured a silver medal on day 2 of the competition, they were the highest overall scoring team with an average time of 10.052 minutes in the 2,000-meter race. And nationally, Trinidad and Tobago gets set to welcome its second female president. Her Excellency Paula Mae Weeks officially steps down from the role today and makes way for the new president, Christine Kangaloo. According to reports, all systems are in place for a seamless inauguration and swearing-in ceremony to take place at the grandstand at the Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain later this morning. Kangaloo will be sworn in by Chief Justice Ivor Archie and will sit as the 7th president of Trinidad and Tobago. And that was your news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Julian and Ria.
Thank you so much, Candace. Thank you so much.
As we're looking forward to this week, anything in particular that you're looking forward to this week?
I am looking forward to the Down Syndrome Family Network's walk and their conference and all that's happening with regards, spreading awareness and integration and inclusiveness for persons who have Down syndrome and not differently able, because Down syndrome does not mean that they're differently abled. All right, having Down syndrome does not mean that they're differently able. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. Are you wearing your funky socks today?
Yeah, I'm rocking those socks. In fact, I got started on Friday. Here's the
you've been funking out since Friday?
But here's the comical part with it. We had our notification of getting started today.
Right.
Right. And in my daughter's school's parents chat, their notification came in relation to getting a head start on Friday. So, we had a good laughter when I picked up on Friday evening saying, could you believe I mixed it up and started today and worked the same day with you at school? So, she had a good laugh with that this morning. So technically got started on Friday. And, to go a little further, I want to say kudos. And I know that a number of the schools are doing it, Signal Hill Primary School and others. Interesting enough, I was very pleased when you can have children coming home talking about, somebody visited my school today, and they were talking about, I can't remember the pronunciation too well. And then you say Down syndrome coming up in terms of, yes. So know that that's a very good indication of keeping children current with the happenings in the context of, on the world stage. Because I always make the point, a school is not just about getting a certificate, but it's really about seeking to build out that all-round student that we look forward to most definitely. So it's a pleasing thing to know that you're already starting to teach our children. So shout outs and kudos there. Principal Devines up at Signal Hill Government Primary, and all those other schools that would have taken that time, because obviously I anticipate it's not only that school, but a number of schools as they go around to seek to educate and inform. Excellent strategy.
But forgive me for being a little selfish. Signal Hill Government Primary leading the way. Got to say, Signal Hill Government Primary leading the way.
Leading the way,
that's right.
Indeed.
But Julian, just before we go, let me just take the opportunity this morning to send a good morning to Carlos, Dylan, Auntie Picky, and to Miss Beckwell. Good morning, good morning. We sort of bounced up at the airport yesterday, and I tell you, I haven't seen these lovely people in quite a while. Rosa Rivas, good morning to you as well. So I just needed to send that out, and to some of our sponsors this morning.
I got to join in very quickly with Carlos Dillon and Auntie Picky as well. I bounced up on him. I think we were at the grocery or so, and he said, "Oh my God, I can't tell the last time I saw you." Oh yes, on TV. And I know that they are avid supporters. They have been with us from day one, tuning in, and it doesn't matter where Auntie Picky sees me, also certainly sending those commendations and encouragement. So we want to thank you and each and every one of you that we meet up with from time to time on the outside there, and we connect. In fact, somebody called me or they said, "Julian." And then when I thought it was someone I knew, I said, "Hey, what's going on?" They said, "Don't worry, I don't know me, but I know you're from on TV." But I am happy the same way to engage and to interact. So thank you so much for the continued love and support. Viewers, at this point, we head on over to Tobago in Focus.
For those who have plans to pursue tertiary education or are already enrolled, there is a Department of Advanced Training that aids with grants and bursaries. This department exists within the Division of Education, Research and Technology.
We provide financial assistance to persons who decide to pursue tertiary education or who are pursuing tertiary education. We also provide persons and advisory service to persons who require that type of advice, both financial as well as career guidance. And we try to also provide persons with placement. For those persons who would have actually received the funding from us, we try to place them in facilitate their placement in jobs.
To access these services, one must apply to an institution of study, and the institution must be accredited. In order to be facilitated, the program being pursued must also be accredited.
The idea is that we want to see that the person, whoever the person is and whatever the person, what the institution is, the important thing is that the institution is accredited and the program is accredited. But much more than that, that the person is also pursuing something that would be of benefit to Tobago and in Trinidad and Tobago for that matter.
The assistance being offered by the department has a wide range. Assistance can be anywhere from tuition expenses to living expenses. It can also include meals, transportation, books, and so forth. An applicant needs to state what they require and what the expenses are that need to be covered. The application will then be vetted and it will be determined what assistance you will receive. You can connect with the department via the THA website, tha.dert.gov.tt, or through the division's head office at 299-0781.
Don't fear the smear.
This is the name of the campaign powered by the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection and the Tobago Regional Health Authority, aimed at giving women the opportunity to get free pap smears during International Women's Month. Secretary of Health Dr. Faith B. Israel said there is a growing concern that women do not prioritize their health and noted that healthy women means healthy families.
As women, we know that pap smears are not very, very comfortable things to do. They're embarrassing. You're literally sitting there with your legs akimbo, wide open, and the stranger is in all of your most inner parts, most private parts. So we were really encouraging the women, you know what? Let us not care about it. Don't fear the smear. Come out and get your pap smears, get your breast exams, and all of those things that we need you to do.
Launched on March 11th, the Secretary said the response was overwhelming. As such, additional testing sites have been activated to capture women in all communities. Dr. B. Israel also encouraged the men to be part of the process, as they too have a role to play.
Men have to be conscious of the fact that we need our women to be healthy. We need our women to be sound. And yes, we are going to be pushing the men as well. As a matter of fact, when I spoke last week in Trinidad, that was one of the things I highlighted. We need to focus on the men. So we'll be doing that soon, probably even before November. But yes, the men need to be a part of this.
All hands are on deck, according to the Health Secretary, including retired nurses and medical professionals at one private institution, offering their services, some free of charge, throughout the duration of the campaign, 7 days a week. Stay tuned to the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection's social media pages and public service announcements to get information on when you can access these free services in your area. So what are you waiting for? Don't fear the smear.
That was a Tobago in Focus. And at this point, we're heading into our birthday celebrations. We have got some birthdays on the lineup this morning coming out of the long weekend.
We certainly do, and some of them are very current as of today. Okay, so we start things off celebrating Lester Thomas, better known as Picker, celebrating a birthday today. So love going out to you, Lester Thomas, from all of us here at Tobago Updates.
Birthday shout-outs to the man representing us there locally, regional, internationally, Joel Murray, aka Positive, wishing you a happy birthday. We trust that you take some time out, wherever you are out there, to enjoy the celebrations. Birthday blessings coming from the Tobago Updates family.
And we've got Kemba Stapleton celebrating her birthday. Kemba, love going out to you. Trust that you have a great one today from all of us here at Tobago Updates.
All right, and we have on screen this morning Marva Celestine, certainly like a mother to me, and I want to take this opportunity to wish you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings. All right, and we have a birthday shout out going out to Cariel Dillon, and this is coming from the Tobago Extension campus of USC, wishing Cariel Dillon a happy birthday.
Beautiful indeed. Happy birthday going out to all those lovely persons there.
Yes. Ria, so what are we looking like this morning on the rundown? Who are we expecting to connect with this morning?
Definitely. So the focus, Julian, is on viewers, is on TNT's presidents through the years. Dr. Reginald Dumas, former ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, is going to be chatting with us this morning on that.
All right. And who else do we have this morning, Ria?
All right. Then we're going to focus on the bushfires, the do's and don'ts. So chatting with us would be Jude Rogers, Fire Prevention Officer attached to the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services. And Jude is going to, Officer Rogers rather, is going to be on the program to chat with us on the bushfires that we've been seeing in and around Trinidad and Tobago and some of the things that we should be mindful of. And then we're going to wrap things up this morning talking about the World Down Syndrome Day 2023. And who better to chat with us than Liana Alexander, who's one of the board members of the Down Syndrome Family Network. and she's going to be on the program. So we're going to be seeing some funky socks being rocked today.
Yes. All right, and we're getting straight into our first guest. We understand that he's on the line already with us this morning. Dr. Reginald Dumas, former ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago and former head of the public service here in Trinidad and Tobago. We speak about Trinidad and Tobago presidents through the years. Dr. Reginald Dumas, good morning. All right. Seems like we don't have him online just yet. But, you know, as we speak to the upcoming, inauguration that takes place today for our 7th president, the second female to serve in the office, I feel like we are in for, a different kind of mix, a different blend. I feel like each individual brings their own personality and strength and so on to the office. And most certainly, President Paula Mae Weeks, with her own style and approach, came to the office as the first female. And we want to take the opportunity to also say thank you. Thank you to President Paula Mae Weeks for your service to Trinidad and Tobago, even today as you transition.
Most definitely. And she will be installed as the seventh president of Trinidad and Tobago, second female. So we see things on the horizon for our women. So far, we've had one female prime minister, and that would be
Kamala Prasad.
I don't know why, as I was about to say, the name slipped me. But certainly we saw one prime minister thus far, and so you never know what is around the corner. I mean, we are still, Tobago has still not reached the heights of having had a first female chief secretary.
Yes.
So we still have some firsts to conquer.
Correct. And if my memory serves me well, as well, I don't think we've had a female chief justice just yet. And I don't want persons to take it lightly at all. Just as we come out of celebrations in terms of International Women's Day, and we did an entire week here in celebration of our women. It's important to note that we're not just speaking a first female for the sake of gender. But let's make it abundantly clear. When we speak first female, we speak about that capacity, that skill set, and that ability to be able to make a difference. So it's not just about your gender, but really signaling and recognizing the achievement in the context of gender. But more than that, it doesn't mean that's the only reason. There's usually excitement surrounding these things, but with the clear understanding, capacity, skill set, and all that goes with the responsibilities of the job. Because interesting enough, Rhea, we also just had our first female commissioner of police appointed.
And there we are, first again.
Interesting. There's a whole national conversation happening in terms of her expressions, her public expressions. Yes, regarding, indicating that the country has been taken over by a spirit of evil. And, I was in a setting, interesting enough, where you're looking for persons to express that level of confidence in the commissioner, but some of the fellows in and around will say, preach on, commissioner, preach on. Because I suppose the perspective from which she took in relation to, seeking God's intervention, really important, don't get me wrong at all, from where we sit for those of us, who have that belief in the Almighty God. But we all also know very clearly God helps those who help themselves. So Trinidad and Tobago, we got to go beyond just the prayer, but let our actions certainly speak for us as well. All right, viewers, we want to thank each and every one of you connecting with us. And just before we head on into that interview, we're giving you an opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The commission on our live.
We party till we drop down there with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
Welcome to Limache Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacord, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are. Full Disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full Disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Tobago, it's time to go. Sweet like
Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit digiceltt.com or a Digicel store now.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Find your soul in sweet Tobago. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7:24 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. In this segment, viewers, we are happy to welcome on set with us Jude Rogers, Fire Prevention Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. And this morning we're speaking about bushfires, the do's and don'ts. Morning, and welcome to you.
Pleasant good morning to you, Julian, and to your viewers, your listenership, wherever you are in Tobago. And I know there's some persons listening in Trinidad right now.
All right, so the first thing I want us to get started with in terms of speaking to the issue of the season, when do bushfires seem to be most prevalent and to become that kind of challenge here in Trinidad and Tobago? As early as this weekend, going around in the vicinity of Wimley, I'm seeing fire tenders up in the hills, really trying to control and to manage the situation. Tell us a little bit about that as we get started.
Okay, so legally, through the Agricultural Fires Act, the bushfire season begins from the 30th or the 1st, of December of the previous year and runs all the way to the 30th of June of the following year. So we're right in the middle of the bushfire season. Interestingly enough, the statistics point us to the fact that our highest peak periods for any bushfire season normally is around the period April to May. So we're right in the middle of the peak period, and that's why you're seeing so many fire tenders responding to bushfire calls at this point in time.
What would you say are some of the guidelines that you'd want to put out there to persons, particularly within this season, that running December is indicated to June?
Okay, so we have two challenges where it pertains to bushfires. We have the challenge of human intervention, where human beings, by our own negligence or by our deliberate acts, are causing fires to take place in and around our communities. It may be as a result of agriculture clearing. It may be as a result of persons doing malicious acts and so forth. So what we're saying is the Agriculture Fires Act has a clear indication as to what are the periods and what you must do to be able to access a fire permit during that period. So all burning that takes place during that outside of cooking in your home must be done so via a permit. And of course, those permits are derived or can be obtained from your fire stations within your region. You must go and apply for that permit. All right? And they will give you the parameters within which you will be able to utilize or burn land or shrubbery or anything of this sort. All right?
So for persons, and let me just take it home to the home setting for a bit. I'm accustomed doing my lawn, etc. I have that little compost heap set up there that I shift to an area. And normally, when it's dry out enough along with the leaves and so that you may rake regularly, you light a fire to take it right down. You're saying during the season that is not permitted, and you have to seek a fire permit.
That's correct.
For persons wondering, is this one of those complicated processes to access? Just give us a little insight into that, and who may, is it that it's open to persons based on some kind of conditions that you may submit?
That's correct. So in every jurisdiction, in every region, Tobago as well, there are fire guardians that are brought in to work temporarily for that specific period. The fire guardian's job is to take in your application, do an assessment of the land space that you would like to clear, the land space, or where you may like to burn. Now, the fact of the matter is we can do so much to protect ourselves within our own home. All right, so what I'm speaking about is where you have serious land clearing, where you have agricultural works, and you have a large acreage of land that need to clear. This is where the fire permit comes into being. But even in a small jurisdiction, without a permit, you can find yourself in difficulty with the police and with our fire guardians and our fire officers if you're seen to be doing something which will cause harm to, let's say, your neighbor's piece of land. Because you may light a fire within your jurisdiction, but that fire can escape you, especially if it is unattended. And this is the reason why we bring everything under a permit system. And that permit is very easy to acquire. You go to your local fire station, you indicate to the officers that you have a specific piece of land, you show that you have some sort of ownership of that piece of land, what is the boundaries of the land, and the officers will come and visit, and then they will prescribe the measures by which you can utilize a fire on that property.
All right. Sometimes in this country, we seem to only pay attention to the rules and regulations based on what the implications are.
Correct.
What kind of costings are we looking at in relation to penalties specific to persons who may say, you can talk what you want, I take it my chance. And bond there.
Well, because of the ramifications of a bushfire that gets away, let's look at the flora and fauna of our beautiful Tobago Isle. What would happen if a fire were to escape, let's say, on the main ridge? That's a serious loss of flora and fauna and animal life. It's something that we just cannot have happen in our beautiful Tobago Isle, nor in Trinidad. And so the penalties have become commensurate to represent the seriousness of the act. And so there's a 6-month penalty in terms of under Summary Offences Act. If you are charged and brought before the court and the magistrate convicts you of such, you'll spend 6 months and you'll pay a $20,000 fine.
Wow,
so that's a very heavy fine and a very lengthy penalty in terms of time spent behind bars.
Indeed. Tell us a little bit more about, additional preventative measures that persons can take in and around, as best as you can within your very own spaces and places.
All right, so Tobago, members of the public throughout, it is known that we would utilize and we would burn our little rubbish heap at the back of our home. We're saying put that into a little barrel, put it in a compost heap that has no other shrubberies around. So what you really want to do is to remove the possibility of a fire jumping your fence line. And to do that, you must cut a fire trace. Now, what is a fire trace? A fire trace is where you remove 3 to 5 feet of vegetation right down to the dirt and eliminate all shrubbery. So what you have, as you know, if there is no combustible material, a fire cannot burn. So if you reach down to the dirt, the sand, the fire cannot jump that space. So you need to have one of that around the perimeter of your property. So you cut your fire trace, you contain the burning within a barrel or in a compost heap that is you're accustomed doing, you put some sort of barricades around it. You maintain a barrel of water, a barrel or two of water, your water hose. Now, I'm not suggesting that in the dry season you use a water hose, but you contain in a barrel of water so that you can easily use it. And the critical part, always keep an eye on the fire that you started. Always keep an eye on it. Leaving that fire unattended is where we have noticed that fires have spread into other person's property. All right, clean your guttering, because leaves and shrubs get into your guttering, and if a bushfire comes up to your home, more than likely it's your roof or the eave of your property that would be involved. And that is how some houses have been involved in fires as a result of bushfires.
Very, very interesting perspective there. I saw once where, you know, I think it is persons would be wet around, like a little distance off.
Yes.
Is that one of the things that is suggested? So they indicate that wetting around this thing, I light it here, you know, but before I light it, you know, whether it's 1-2 feet off, yeah, you see them wetting right around the entire pile. Is that effective?
No, that is a strategy, but the one that I would have indicated to you would be the best. Obviously, when the fire approaches, if a fire were to be on the outside of your fence line and it approached and it came up to, let's say, wet ground or wet grass, but the fact of the matter, some of these fires are so intense that even wetting around your property is not going to suffice. So we are asking that you remove the vegetation, fire trace, 3 to 5 feet. You can even go even wider, because what it does, some of these bushfires are raging. And if you have trees in your property, the trees, even though they're higher than the fire trace, they can become part of the bushfire. And this is what we want to eliminate.
All right. Tell us a little bit as well. You made a very interesting connection there. So for the person where I'm in my home space, the smoke starts to become very heavy. I probably noticed some open area land, a bushfire has started. What course of action do you suggest for members of the general public to assist, you know, in terms of fires with that?
Well, definitely your first premise must be to call the fire service at 990 and report that fire. In fact, it is a legal responsibility to report all fires, even the very small ones. Let us determine what is a danger or what is a hazard. Please report all fires to the fire service via 990. The operators are there and they're ready and willing to take your call and to respond to your calls. Right? While in Tobago here, I have observed a large bushfire taking place on the Chauvin Road, not too far from the mall.
Correct.
Fire tenders had to respond. That's a vast expanse of land. And the smoke and the impending smoke that came down from that. Think about the elderly. Think about those who are sick, who may be bedridden. How they affected somebody who had just had a little baby, and now they have to vacate their homes as a result on account of the bushfire that one person may or may not have set. These are very serious issues that are affecting members of our community, and we need to be our brother's keeper. We need to be mindful of that. Think about a bedridden person. How is that person going to leave their home? And so those persons are already suffering as a result of oxygen, and we've made it difficult for them. So let's be mindful when we set bushfires. We don't burn all at one time. We burn over a 5-day period, a little at a time, so we don't create that large amount of smoke.
All right. You mentioned earlier about fire guardians,
Yes.
term relatively new. I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit. Who is a fire guardian? What is the rule? What's their responsibility?
That's a very good question, Julian. Now, fire guardians are normally between the ages of 18 to 35, and they are hired periodically for that period of the bushfire season. You have to go back to Trinidad and Tobago's history to understand the agricultural days that we had. And much of our production in Trinidad would have circled around the sugarcane industry and around agriculture. And so burning of property was part of the process. You needed to have persons who would regulate that and who would not have errant burning taking place and persons losing their property, and we can't determine who may have caused it. So whether it was Caroni 1975 Limited or some other person doing a malicious act, we needed to know. So fire guardians are very important. Every time of year, we bring them on board, and they are in each jurisdiction. In Trinidad, in the 3 divisions in Trinidad, Northern Division, Central and South, and of course the Tobago Division. And so Tobago is also very important where that is concerned. Fire guardians are there at the Scarborough Fire Station, and you can go there, you can speak with them. They would come and visit your property, and they would take a look at what you need to have cleared, and they would respond accordingly and give you the necessary advice.
All right, quick question coming in here. The cost for the fire permit that you have to go to the fire station for.
Very easy question, and the cost is only $10 TT. Only $10 TT.
So you were about to say 10,000 or, you know.
So it makes it very easy for someone to approach the fire service, but please come with your information, your ID, forms of ID, some sort of permission for the use of the land, whether it is a land tenure letter or something of the sort. You may not necessarily own the land, but you have to show that you have some sort of permission for the use of the land that you are on, and the fire service would then do the necessary. All right?
All right, excellent. Any additional information you would like to share with us this morning, or, you know, to reiterate and to remind our viewers before we conclude this morning's interview?
I'd like to just point out to one particular fact that we've been looking at the statistics in the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, and we've been noticing a trend where it comes to climatology. Now, we may say, okay, what does the fire service have to do with climatology? Well, we've been attending conferences together with the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Services, and we've been observing interesting trends, such as weather patterns. When there is an extremely dry season, we have high statistics. Let me give you the statistics. An average of 38 bushfires per day in Trinidad and Tobago. When there is a wetter than normal dry season, the statistics drop by over 300%. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of the public, I want to advise you that when the Met Service tells you that we're going to have a very dry season, that is the time for you to get serious about protecting your properties. And this year seems to be a very intense dry season. Julian.
Yes, certainly we have those days we just out there saying to ourselves, my gosh, today is hot. All right. Thank you so much, Jude Rogers, for joining us here on set this morning. Yes, viewers, giving us a little insight into some of those realities. Remember, the season would have started in December and runs until June, so we got to keep a keen eye out there to help and to support each other. And for those wishing to make that effort to, you know, to have a fire or to burn or to do something in and around, please make every effort to get the necessary permits and so on. It's $10 for a permit and the requisite application process versus 6 months in prison and $20,000 as the fine. Let's just make that quick comparative in our minds to help us if we can't remember the entire details here this morning. So we thank you so much again for joining us here on set. Viewers, we want to thank you for continuing to connect with us. Those of you joining us via TV, those listening in on the radio, those of you online, this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
happen from time to
Yes.
time.
Yes, they do.
I want to believe he just got a call as we were about to start the interview. It happens. It
Correct,
happens. We connect with him in just a little bit.
Well, what's for certain is that he did mute our our connection there. Dr. Reginald Dumas.
Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you, Dr. Reginald Dumas. Are you hearing us this morning? All right, so you may have to unmute. Yes, he may have to unmute there.
Yes.
In terms of his connection, but certainly, Rhea, he comes with wealth of knowledge and experience.
Definitely.
You know, I know he would have guest hosts here as well for one of our elders mornings that we would have certainly held. So I know that he comes with that wealth of knowledge and experience over the years, and having been a part of the public service in itself. So we're really looking forward to getting his perspective and to having some quick discussions with him this morning. Rhea, this background.
Well,
yes, before we get to the background, go ahead, Rhea.
As well, Dr. Dumas would have worked very closely back in the day with the first president of Trinidad and Tobago, Sir Ellis Clark. So he has not only the wealth of knowledge and information, but he's had somewhat of a personal interaction through the years with presidents, previous presidents of Trinidad and Tobago. So it'd be good to hear from him as well, in terms of what he's known of them over the years as we head on into the 7th president of the Twin Island, to get that sense of, through the years, who he's known, whom he's met, and the type of interaction he's had with them.
Definitely indeed. So viewers, we take a quick break just to deal with some technical matters. So this is your opportunity to share the live.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Tobago, it's time to go. Sweet like Tobago.
Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit digiceltt.com or a Digicel store now.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Advertise with Tobago updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is all about rocking your socks and bringing awareness on Down syndrome, and it's World Down Syndrome Day coming up later on this week. And who better to chat with us on all that's coming up, all that's happening, and what it signifies than Miss Liana Alexander, who is one of the board members of the Down Syndrome Family Network. And this morning we're talking World Down Syndrome Day 2023. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Now, forgive me for sitting like this, viewers, but I just wanted you guys to see me rocking these socks. Now, and then I'm not even sure if to go this way or that way, because, you know, it's Okay, I'm just thinking now for a little bit. All right, so let's chat here, Miss Liana. Now, it's not the first time that you've been on the program with us, but you're focused on Down syndrome and persons with Down syndrome, lending that support to parents and the family network, even as they support persons with Down syndrome. Give us an idea, and tell us this morning the sole purpose for you being on the program this morning and what's coming up later on this week.
Okay, so good morning to our listening and viewing audience. And tomorrow, March the 21st, it's World Down Syndrome Day, right? And World Down Syndrome Day, we raise awareness for persons with Down syndrome and other disabilities.
Okay.
And so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about why we rock our socks, why socks, and just maybe a little bit as to what is Down syndrome, because persons have been asking, what is Down syndrome?
All right, so let's start there. What is Down syndrome?
Okay, so Down syndrome, or sometimes you would hear the medical term trisomy 21. It's a chromosomal condition characterized by an extra copy of the 21st chromosome. Right? So babies, when a baby, well, I should say a cell, when you have, you will have the typical person have 23 pairs or 46 chromosomes. A baby that is born with Down syndrome have 47, so it's an extra one. So we have a chromosome from mommy or daddy, egg or sperm, and on the 21st pair, that pair would not have separated properly. And then we have another copy being added. So on the 21st pair, we have 3 copies, whereas all the other pairs, we have 2. So that every cell for a person with Down syndrome would have that extra copy.
Okay.
Yes.
So what does it signify? Someone who has this extra copy, what makes them so different, apart from that extra?
Right. So apart from the love that that extra copy would give that person, that child or that individual is like any other individual. The only thing is that we would have, maybe delays with milestones. And Down syndrome falls under the category of intellectual disability.
Okay.
So there are some things that normally the typical person would be able to do at a certain age, chronological age. A child with Down syndrome would do the same thing, but maybe at a later time. Given the support, early intervention, support, and opportunity, they can be as successful and achieve their fullest potential like any other individual.
What do we know now about Down syndrome that we did not know 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Persons with Down syndrome can be included, they can be educated, and they can work. They can have lives, normal lives like everyone else. And in terms of the lifespan, they can live up to 60, 70 years.
Okay.
Yeah, given the support and the opportunities.
Now, give us an idea this morning of the purpose of rocking the socks. Where did the Rock Your Socks come from? How is it associated now with Down syndrome?
So the United Nations World Down Syndrome Day, every year we have a theme. And our theme for this year is with us, not for us, right? With us, not for us. So oftentimes persons with disabilities are treated as a charity object. And oftentimes we lend support, but the support may be controlling or it may not be consistent. So with the Down Syndrome Family Network, the support is ongoing in terms of education, awareness, and sensitization. So when you rock your socks, you are showing that support every year. So it's not just a way of maybe raising funds and stuff like that, but it's actually bringing awareness to the public that when you rock your socks, you are actually celebrating with persons with Down syndrome. And the sock signifies, when under the microscope, the chromosome looks like socks. Yeah, so that is why we rock our socks. And it's done on the 21st day of March, so 21 signifying the 21st chromosome, and the 3rd month, meaning the 3 copies. Wow. So that is why it's done on March 21st. And our chromosomes make us unique. That is who we are. So we all celebrate with persons with Down syndrome and other disabilities. Yeah.
And we're happy to hear that, and that's an excellent way of celebrating. Now, we have on the table here some of the socks that can be purchased to be rocked today and tomorrow. So all week long, I know that a lot of persons are going to be celebrating all week long, so they're going to be rocking these socks all week long. But you're also going to be doing some school visits.
Yes, so today I'm going to be going to Hammond School of SDA because we bring awareness more so to the schools and the school children. And I'm going on to Speyside High, and we are going to be doing an activity so that they can understand why, how a baby is born with Down syndrome and how they can support and include persons if it is that a child with Down syndrome should be able to go to that school someday.
Okay, most definitely. Now tell us about the conference that's coming up later on this week.
All right, so for Tobago, well, tomorrow it's the Trinidad leg. Persons can still register. That would be at the Hyatt. For Tobago, our conference would be held at Shopper Cultural Complex. And registration is still ongoing, and it's a free event. So persons are asking, do I have to pay? No, you do not have to pay, because we have sponsorship and support from the THA, the Division of Education and Social Services and Wellness. And also, the Republic Bank and other organizations as well from Trinidad. So the conference, we actually have persons from schools, the same schools that I would have been visiting, Signal Hill Secondary, Scarborough Sec, and other schools, Table Peace. All the persons would have been invited, and we are requesting students, so at least 2 to 3 students, a teacher, and then we have persons from the wider community, parents, and also persons from our special school representative across Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, so we expect quite an interesting mix.
Interesting mix, and then we have our speakers from Trinidad. Well, Monica Myers, she is the main speaker. She's a runaway model and advocate for Down syndrome, and she, remember our main speaker oftentimes would be a person with Down syndrome.
Yes.
Right, so you get to see what could happen when persons are included in society, and how it's, what are some of the possibilities for these persons.
All right, some encouragement for persons, for parents out there you're expecting a baby, you don't know what you're gonna get, male or female. You don't know anything, and you await that moment when your baby is delivered and you recognize that this baby has Down syndrome. I know for a lot of parents, it has not been an easy road. You have hopes and dreams, and you feel as though your hopes and dreams would have been dashed upon arrival of the baby being diagnosed with Down syndrome. So some encouragement for parents. What do you say to them when they come to you? I didn't expect this. This was not what I planned. This was not what I wanted. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yes. But now let me just say quickly that we have a lot of testing and a lot of technology that parents can be aware before baby is born that the child would have Down syndrome.
So there's some preparation time.
Yes, so there's preparation. There's also support. So through the network, we have counseling. We have different I should say professionals that would meet with mommy or daddy, and that is why we have our family workshop 4 times per year, where we educate and sensitize and encourage the public and persons to be prepared and ready, because it's not a sentence, it's not a death sentence. It's a great opportunity to be a parent of a child that you can do so much with, right? Persons just need to be cognizant of what I can do, because once you treat that child like any other child, that child will be able to fulfill all their potentials, because it is possible. And that is why we have the conference. That is why we want persons to come out and see, because when you know, you know.
And this is not just for parents with children.
Not for parents, not only for parents with children with Down syndrome, but other disabilities. So I have parents with children with autism, learning disabilities. We have teachers. We have persons from the student support services, school supervisors, teachers, because when you come, then you get to see what you can do, right? Some of the strategies, some of the things that we can do in our schools, because our children can be educated, they can have jobs, And there are some articles that would have been out in terms of persons who are working at banks in Trinidad with Down syndrome.
All right, and I want to thank you this morning. But very quickly, how can persons contact you to purchase one of these socks? And this is all about fundraising as well for the network, yes?
Right. All proceeds would go to the network, and that is what we use to support our conference, our workshops, and body walk, our body walk as well. So they can contact me at 293-6544. And I do not have a lot of socks. I know it's lots of socks, but we do not have much more. So after the schools today, this should be it. And there's a flyer going around. So everything is on social media. We also have our Facebook page, Down Syndrome Family Network. So they can go on the page and get information. They can go and register for the workshop tomorrow, the conference tomorrow at the Hyatt, and for Tobago at Chopper Cultural Complex.
Okay, and again, these are just a sample, a very quick sample. There's so many others. So if you need to purchase today, today is a good day to do that. In fact, as soon as the interview is over, don't call her contact just yet. As soon as the interview is over, you can call the number and you can, arrange to have one of these socks picked up or purchased. As well, we want to let you know the cost of the socks.
It's 40 for the public, 30 for schools.
Right, 40 for the public, 30 for schools. But I want to say to you out there, it's okay to give the money and not even get a sock in return. So if she's run out of socks, it's okay to still support. It's okay to still support. And it's really not about getting the socks. It's more about giving the money. It's more about supporting the venture, supporting the move, supporting the awareness of persons with Down syndrome. Yes?
And we want persons to rock their socks tomorrow. The entire island of Trinidad and Tobago, we want to rock our socks to show support.
Rock your socks. Thank you so much, Miss Liana Alexander. Always a pleasure chatting with you. Whenever you come on the program, always very encouraging and giving the information and awareness on the topic of Down syndrome. So we want to remind persons again, it's rocking your socks tomorrow. So dress just as long as you rock those socks.
Rock your socks.
So wear the shoes. Wear the shoes that can allow you to rock the socks. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm not even sure, like I said, which one to showcase because they just, okay. So again, viewers, we want to thank you so much for being with us this morning. Unfortunately, we were unable to connect with Dr. Reginald Dumas. We've been having some technical difficulties, I think, where he is and where we are, some connection issues. But certainly we will try to have him back with us tomorrow morning. But we want to say thank you for joining us. We've got GMT coming up with Candace. So you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay with us. And we encourage you today to have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, but it's over to GMT for now. So have a great day. Bye-bye, Tobago.
Thank you so much.
The THA is preparing for the implementation of the National Policy on Sexual Harassment in the Workplace. In doing so, HR managers, officers, and supervisors from both the public and private sectors participating in a seminar hosted by the Department of Labor.
Public-private partnerships has to be established to build capacity and increase resources, especially when considering how diverse the island of Tobago has now become. This partnership plays a pivotal role in generating, transferring knowledge to all people, employees, employers, and students.
By the time we get to 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, it is even more difficult to understand that consent is something that can be given, and consent is something that can be taken away, even in the midst of it.
We have had all of this
in it. Females usually sexually harass men, and you know we all laugh about it. I experienced that on one of my workplaces. If you're having a consensual relationship and somebody broke it off, you cannot now come and claim that the person sexually harassed you, because it was welcome and it was reciprocated. So it's not sexual harassment. When the act is assented to, there will be some definite responsibilities that the employer will be mandated to do within a specified time frame, right? So you have to formulate a written policy statement against sexual harassment within the workplace. Bring the policy statement to the attention of every member of staff.
The seminar was hosted at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong. And the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. According to a newspaper article, some Tobago contractors are not bothered by the increased cement prices because they say that the construction sector is dead. Cement is expected to increase by 5%, with a 42.5 kilogram bag now costing $47.83 before VAT, going up by $3.54. Contractors said that the only ongoing major work on the island was the construction of a few private buildings. They explained that the construction sector slowed down during the COVID-19 pandemic and had hoped that the President Fali Augustine-led administration would change that. However, they were disappointed. Meanwhile, in sport, Tobago's Oceanus Dragon Boat Club won 2 gold medals and 1 silver at the Pan American Club Crew Cup Championship in Panama over the weekend. The Tobago-based team competed against Dragon Boat teams from the US, Canada, the Caribbean, and Latin America. However, they proved to be a force to be reckoned with, when they won 2 gold medals on day 1 of the competition. While they captured a silver medal on day 2 of the competition, they were the highest overall scoring team with an average time of 10 minutes, 0.052 seconds in the 2,000-meter race. And nationally, Trinidad and Tobago gets set to welcome its second female president. Her Excellency Paula May Weeks officially steps down from the role today and makes way for the new president, Christine Kangaloo. According to reports, all systems are in place for a seamless inauguration and swearing in ceremony to take place at the grandstand at the Queen's Park Savannah later this morning. Kangaloo will be sworn in by Chief Justice Ivor Archie and will sit as the 7th President of Trinidad and Tobago. Viewers, that was the news in 90 seconds. A lot of exciting things happening here. We're certainly looking forward to our new president to be sworn in. The ceremony starts at 10 a.m. So we are looking forward for it, and we're excited to see what her tenure would be like. In the meantime, we are going to switch gears, and we are going to be speaking about bees in Tobago. So we have Mr. Gladstone Solomon on, who is one of our, I guess, one of the more recognized beekeepers here in Tobago. And he is a country mentor for Ionola Apiculture Collective.
Correct.
And he's going to speak to us today on beekeeping for the Tobago Police Youth Clubs.
Correct.
All right. Good morning and welcome to you, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Candice. Good morning to your viewers. As always, it's a pleasure to be here, especially when I have to talk about beekeeping.
All right. First of all, I want you to tell me a bit about this Ionola Apiculture Collective. What is it?
Well, Ionola, I understand, is the traditional name for St. Lucia. And so it's a St. Lucia-based beekeeping organization that partnered with the UNDP, UE, and several other organizations and beekeeping professionals to craft what is called the first Caribbean online beekeepers training course. It started during the COVID period, so it proved to be very valuable. There was an initial program with 6 Caribbean countries and one one country from the Far East participating. Online, of course, a certifiable course. Beyond that, now, this is where we are now, the program has been extended by the UNDP, the United Nations Development Program. The program has been extended to include interest groups from Trinidad and Tobago. So currently the Police Youth Club, and it's a Trinidad and Tobago package, the Tobago clubs, and there are about 20 clubs, I understand, in Tobago. 9 of them have signed up. There are possibly, my understanding is about 34 applicants.
Nice.
But 16 persons are actually hands-on involved in doing the course, which the package includes 17 online theoretical models, and we have a 10-session field exercise, which we do once per week. We've had 3 such sessions before.
Great. So why bees? Why is it important for our young people to get involved in beekeeping?
Very good. You know, for young minds, exposure to bees and the vocation of beekeeping attracts your imagination. It causes you to understand the linkage between plants, the food we eat, between humans and nature. And it makes the point that bees are so critical to human existence, to terms we like to use regularly, biodiversity and this sort of thing. So for the students who participated, looking inside of a beehive for the very first time was a wonder to them. You know, it would have been a completely new experience to see thousands of 6-legged insects, beneficial insects, collaborating in a very organized and structured way towards producing primary products, which, by the way, it's a side product for the real purpose of beekeeping. The real purpose being pollination and putting food on the table.
Certainly. I mean, and as I said, talking about putting food on the table, I mean, the bee industry is quite lucrative because I don't know if viewers, you've checked the price of honey recently. It's about
200 for a 750 ml bottle.
So there's quite a bit of money in beekeeping.
Yeah.
And what about the other products that can come out of it, the value-added products?
But let me just for a minute, actress, is okay, dispel the notion that it is you know, extremely profitable. You're dealing with significant input costs, and it's a seasonal activity. You are the whims and fancy of NITI at a time when we have such variations in weather. So like with all agricultural enterprises, there's a level of risk involved in it.
Certainly.
Right? And of course, the main driving factor is the demand-supply situation. We simply don't produce enough. Honey, the primary product, the most popular primary product, I tend to say it used to be sort of poor person's medicine. You know, in the earlier days when you make a bush tea and you sweeten it with some honey, and yeah, I ask people what they use honey for, and the amount of purposes would surprise you. People get their dreams, their insights as to what to blend their honey with. They use it for religious purposes. So it's, to me, an integral part of person's lifestyle. And yeah, it's a great product. You get honey, which is the principle. You get beeswax. We know long time the shoemakers and tailors and seamstresses, even the hairdressers would mix some beeswax into their hair. That's the second primary product. We have bee pollen, which is a protein source, honey being a carbohydrate source, and we have two lesser known products, one called royal jelly, a mystique in its own self, because that really is the product that causes a queen bee, or it differentiates a queen bee from a regular worker bee in that through the consumption of royal jelly, throughout its life, the queen bee ovaries has developed to a point where it could lay. The worker bee's ovaries are not developed. And then the final product, which is a natural antibiotic, is one called propolis. It's made from the resin of trees and some natural compounds and so on, which sanitizes the hive, you know, and it could be used for lozenges, skin infections, and so on.
Well, what kind of impact has climate change and, you know, just the weather patterns that we're experiencing, what has that had on our bee population? Yes, significant. Take, for example, last year with the excessive amount of rain, the industry nosedived. An astute beekeeper would leave, you got to leave some of the products, honey, pollen, that's bee food. We are supposed to take the surplus. So if you miscalculated, especially with the severity of the weather last year, your colonies would have suffered, like with anything else. So bees are also environmental monitors, so that you can collect the pollen sample, trace it through analysis, and get a sense of the species in a particular geographic space. So in my mind, the main rich forest reserve is ideal for that sort of thing if you have some bees there and you want to know what species they are. You know, yeah. So with this program that you are engaging with the police youth clubs, what is the goal? What are you hoping to achieve? Right. So the idea is to, and let me just say how impressed I am with the enthusiasm and the interest. We've had about 16 members. And the idea is to expose them, as is the general principle attached to positive values, to positive things in the development, and to help them in terms of their own understanding of the natural environment and the linkages associated. It is hoped, too, that some of them, if not all of them, would at some stage pick up beekeeping, and there are several aspects. You could be a hardcore beekeeper selling the primary products, or you could be someone who would use the primary products and get into value added. So your face cream, your lipstick, your soaps, and so on. I want to ask you, Candace, whether you use that, because it is reputed to, you know, have exceptional good value. You know, it's about as natural as you can get it. Certainly. And our body responds to things that are natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, is this only open to the police youth clubs, or can other youth groups or young people get involved?
I love that question. Ideal question. The Police Youth Club Trinidad and Tobago, they are super proactive in terms of finding opportunities. So they applied to the United Nations Development Program. They have a small grant program for island-wide, the Trinidad and Tobago project, which would train some of their members in beekeeping through the online theoretical model and then the practical sessions, right? The idea is, and this part we haven't reached there yet, is that the youth clubs would have their own apiary, right? Some of the seniors in the club are also being trained. So we have a program that's running concurrently in Trinidad and in Tobago. Right now, subject to location of our apiary, I'm using one of my apiaries. We come there once a week for about 2 hours, and they've had significant exposure so far. So they're going to see the whole practical aspect of beekeeping, from how you expand to how you extract some marketing aspects, right? And let me just say the online tutorials, a mix of professionals were engaged in designing the courses. So if I can just add, some of the courses, the online courses would include economics of apiculture, ecological importance of bees, well, the basic honeybee biology, inspecting the colonies, value-added products, which I know is a section that they're looking forward very much to. So other groups are welcome to participate. What they'll have to do is to contact Ayanola, and I can spell this out, Iyanola, apiculture.org. That's their website, and their email address is ayanola.apiculture@gmail.gov. There's all the information there. If that's too long to recall, then you can get on to me. I'll pass on the information. I'm at 682-9467. So it's an opportunity, Candace, if you have not necessarily a youth group, it could be a group of seniors too, because the thing with beekeeping, you could be exposed to it very early in your life, and it could be sometime later that you may enter.
And we need more beekeepers, because without the bees, you can't have a vibrant agriculture sector, and then food security becomes a challenge.
Exactly.
It's all connected.
Exactly. Thanks for that input. You've been exposed, no?
Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit.
It's enough. It's super interesting.
Yes.
You see, we see honey and we see the products, but often we don't have a sense of where they come from and the processing of it. And I think in some persons' minds, it's further than it really is.
Yeah.
Tobago should reach a stage where we have ideally 2 beekeepers in every community to service the consumers on the island.
Certainly, and that's something that we need to work towards.
Yes.
And I want to thank you so much, Mr. Solomon, for being on with us and sharing with us, keeping that part of agriculture into perspective.
Yes.
Beekeeping. So if you want to learn more, if you have youth groups, if you have young people around you, reach out to Mr. Solomon and get connected. He is very good in terms of explaining to you how it all works, and it's actually a lot easier than you think it is, and not as dangerous as you think it is either, right? There's a lot there to help. So, Mr. Gladstone Solomon, thank you again, and viewers, we've got a lot more coming up for you after the break.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Candace.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tapago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tapago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tapago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tapago's at your service.
Welcome to Limage Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Wake up with Candace and Denise. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we are being joined by representatives from the Cipriani College Student Guild. I have a bit of a title this morning. So we are doing this on my right by Miss Kelly Byron, and she is a trustee on the guild, as well as Mr. Keston Williams, and the vice president of the guild. Good morning and welcome to you both. How are you?
We are good.
We are fine. Thanks for being here.
Great. So, oftentimes when you think about the student guild, it comes to mind of just activities towards enhancing student life, because there's more to student life than just studying and, getting your degree.
Yes, actually, what we as a guild do, we promote students in a sense of activities, grievances. We are like, what should I say? We are like the students' lawyer in a sense.
Yes.
So students come to us if they have any problems. We started this semester where we have student forum. So we will have an open day with the students. They will come voice all their concerns. We have all the student guild members, our WhatsApp number, where the students are able to reach us at any time with help whether schoolwork is concerned or any academic problems that they are having in the college.
Great. And we have something fun coming up for the students in the form of a kite flying and a picnic.
Yes.
So, Mr. Williams, can you tell me a bit more about that?
Well, we, the members of the Student Guild, we realize that it's not about studying. It's all about giving back to the community, and where we could foster a different type of learning, and their families could come and have a picnic and a kite flying. Well, my assistant will talk more in depth about it.
Okay, so the kite flying and picnic competition will be on the 25th of March at the Plymouth Recreation Grounds. It starts at 1 p.m. and ends at 6 p.m. We'll have face painting, large kite competition, biggest kites, best small kite, best mad bull. So it's a whole lot of fun. We're supposed to have some egg hunts as well for the smallest children, for the students who bring their family to enjoy the day also.
Because of course this is important because a lot of the students that attend the Cipriani Labor College, they are people with families.
Yes. A lot of them have a lot of families. Therefore, we cover for all sector. And more like to give back to the community, that aspect of it. Therefore, we are the guild, and we making sure we have a bridge the gap between the students and the families. Because during the pandemic, we create the environment for the families and students to come to be relaxed. Because you know the pandemic was, all of us went through the pandemic, and it was a different type of learning online and stuff. Therefore, we say, let us be creative. Let us give back to the students. Let us find them, not about studying, it's over coming to the college and give back to different types of communities and stuff. Therefore, one of our initiatives was the kite flying, and after that we have a health fair, and after the health fair we have a aerobic session. Therefore, we have a lot of activities for the year. Therefore, we want to give back to the students and where they have a more relaxation, because when everything is about studying, it's all about trying to get a brainstorm, a brain cooler, for more relaxation.
Certainly. And you keep mentioning that, it's about giving back to the community as well. So does this mean that the community can be a part of the kite flying competition?
Well, yes, it will be open for people in the community to come and take part. We'll be also open to vendors who want to come and sell their stuff and do their own little initiatives on that day. So
then how can people get connected with you?
Well, we have our contact number. My contact number is 370-3069. Ms. Byron number is
475-4767.
And also remember, Cipriani Labor College and Cooperative. Therefore, also all the different arms will be involved in this initiative. Therefore, we hopefully all the different stakeholders will be part of this initiative to give back. And we make sure and follow all the necessary protocols, like invite all the area representatives and all different stakeholders within the community to take part in this initiative.
Certainly. And then as we're talking about, what the school is, and, for those who don't know, what are some of the courses and what are some of the areas of focus of education that Cipriani Labor College offers?
Well, they offer different varieties of courses. They have occupation safety and health, it have labor, they have cooperative, it have
human resource management, it have credit union management. I think one of the nice things about Cipriani College is that no matter what course you're doing, you always get some labor studies in.
Yes, and cooperative too.
Yes.
And human resource too. Therefore, by the time you leave Cipriani, you're ready for the world. You're ready. Therefore, you have a taste of everything, every different aspect of the sector of the curriculum of the college.
And why is it so important for us to have an understanding of labor and that sort of thing?
You see, in this world, you realize that everything is getting into labor studies, human resource, cooperative, and you have to get a better understanding of everything. If you want to go apply for a job, you have a different level of experience. You have experience in HR, you have experience in cooperative, you have experience in labor. Therefore, when you come to the employer and the employees, you have a better understanding how to interact or how to approach certain aspect of life.
All right. Now, so just as we're getting ready to wrap up this conversation, again, the information about the kite flying competition.
Okay, so again, the kite flying competition will be on Saturday, the 25th of March at the Plymouth Recreation Grounds. It will be starting at 1 p.m. and ending at 6. We are extending our welcome to everyone who wants to be a part of it. We hope that all the students will come out and interact with their peers. Some of these students only know one another from online, but they have never really seen one another face to face and interact with one another. So we are hoping that we can have that kind of unity on that day.
All right, great. And Mr. Williams, Mr. Vice President, do you have anything else to add?
Well, all I can say, Candice, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for yours at Tobago. We, as my colleagues say, we inviting every one of you to come out and take part in this initiative. This initiative is a benefit for the students and benefit for the community. Therefore, we look forward to see everyone there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you again. And viewers, please don't go anywhere because we've got much more coming up for you after the break.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, and well, welcome to the visitors that are in Scarborough right now. I mean, I'm seeing 2 cruise ships right now in the harbor. They were not there when I came in this morning, but it's great to see as we're winding down with the cruise ships season right here in Tobago. Now, viewers, we're switching over to security, and of course, we have Inspector Anderson Alfred from the TTPS here this morning with us. Good morning, and welcome to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning to you as well, and thank you for having me here.
Great. Now, so we can start with just a little update on what's been happening in Tobago, security-wise. You know, have you been seeing a rise in criminal activity?
Well, I'm proud to say that for Tobago Division, last year, for its corresponding period, we had a total of 158 serious crimes. But for this year, thanks to our crime-fighting efforts and the work of the community with the police, we only have 101. That's a 57 difference and a 56% decrease in serious crime. So I say hats off to my colleagues and hats off to the community of Tobago.
And what would you attribute that, you know, success to?
Partnership and astute leadership of the Tobago Division with the community. I must say as well that we have been doing quite well in relation to firearm seizures. For every week of this month, we had a firearm seized. We had 2 firearms seized for the month of March, and a total of 24 rounds, 9mm ammunition. It means to say that we saved 24 lives.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did quite well, and we are continuing this trend.
And you guys are monitoring also what's coming in via our ports?
Indeed, indeed. So our port police officers and the customs officers, even our immigration officers, we have in one partnership, we have one vision in making Tobago safe.
Great.
Yes.
So is there like a list or something like that of people to look forward to, or is it just based on sort of monitoring the passengers that are coming across?
It's both.
Okay.
Both that you mentioned, because indeed there will be, and there are always priority offenders that we are looking out for, and also with the information and from the intelligence that we gather from the general public and from our policing efforts, we put that all together to make our efforts targeted and intelligence-based.
Now, I want to switch to a rising problem, especially within our young people, and that is school violence.
Yes.
We are unfortunately seeing a rise in school violence, not just in Trinidad, but here in Tobago. Can you give us a perspective on what's been happening? What have you guys been noticing or seeing?
Well, particularly there is the display of school violence on social media. It seems as though that persons are prone to, or they're enticed to sharing these unfortunate incidents of school fights and confrontation. So what we are saying is that we are on top of the situation in the police service. Our method of dealing with it is multi-pronged in that we are working with the school administration to deal with these issues, to address these issues. We're also dealing with the school security system that they have in place, because there are security officers based at these schools, but they need to be, as we have observed, to be empowered and to be edified in relation to dealing with school children in the acts of violence, because they have certain powers. Also, the children have certain rights that must be maintained, because there are practices within the Judges Rule and the Child Act that must be adhered to ensure that the child is not subject to any malpractice or unfairness. Because prosecution before the court is the very last stage, because there's consultation, there's rehabilitation, there's the intervention with social worker, there's the community aspect of it, and also addressing the families. So we try to say is that we want to start with all agencies on board with one agenda. That is the rehabilitation of the school, the children, and the persons that may have been targeted or may have been identified as persons with the propensity to commit these acts of violence.
Now, can some students be arrested for school violence?
Indeed, but as I said before, that arresting the child is the very last resort as it comes to, and it depends on the degree of the activity that they're involved in. So what we try to do, like for this program that we are doing here, we are dealing with all the persons involved. For example, this location where we're at is a typical example. What we did, we worked with the administration or the management of this, this space that we are in right now in putting up signs. If you observe that there are signs downstairs that state that school children are
And this is, of course, in the Port Mall.
Yes, indeed, yes. The school children are not allowed to be on the property during school hours, after school hours in uniform. Those are some of the preventative measures that we have been able to put together with our stakeholders.
And yes, viewers, I mean, I think coming on to the end of last year, I mean, there was so many fights that broke out in this building.
Indeed, so we have to take action, and we did indeed, and we are seeing the success of it. I'm sure for this year, there has never been any further incident that the police were not able to deal with quickly and in a proper manner, ensuring that the rights of the child are enforced and maintained.
Now, what happens like when you encounter a child that has a propensity to be violent in school, start the fights, etc.? You know, when you, I mean, I know that you also reach out to the parents, get the parents involved, because of course that's a important role. What's the reaction like when you're dealing with some of these parents?
Like I tell you, the message that we send out first is do not be afraid to parent your child. Right? That is your sole responsibility. The guardian or the responsible adult who is tasked with the responsibility of taking care of a child, your responsibility is to parent that child. So we are saying responsibility is multi-dimensional. You are responsible for the health and welfare of the child and for that child reaction to situation. You must prepare a child to go into a school environment. We came out of 2 years from a pandemic, and you are able to assimilate back into the school society, but you're going to encounter some social barriers and boundaries that you must adhere to. So when we deal with the parents, we tell them that you can intervene and you should intervene in a child's school life legally. So if you saw on social media, there was an adult that got involved in a fracas with involving children. So we are saying, do not take vigilante justice, do not take justice into your own hands, because you as the adult, you will be charged and will be dealt with according to law. There's a process in dealing with it. So before we get into the arresting stage, we do consultation. The school normally has their social workers assigned to that school, the guidance counselors. There's also the Children Authority. We have within the TTPS, the Community Police Secretariat. They are responsible for visiting schools and going and creating a relationship with the school body. So therefore, there is steps before we get into the court that could deal with the situation, because if the situation can be dealt with before taking a child before the children court, there is an avenue and there's opportunity for rehabilitation. And that's what we're about.
Now, I mean, a lot of parents, sometimes parents feel powerless because a child may be constantly bullied in school and there seems to be no redress. It may seem that the school might not be taking the report seriously, and that the parents of the child doing the bullying and so on may not even be taking the corrective measures. So what should that parent do to avoid going into the school and attacking the students?
Okay, so what we try to do is that we want to encourage all parents or all persons responsible for children to attend the PTAs. That's where the issues are aired. You'll hear from other parents likewise, and you'll be surprised at the behavior of your child, because sometimes the children have one behavior and one character at home and a different character and behavior at school. And I attend PTA in my children's school, and we understand that we always hear that the parents who are supposed to be in the meetings do not attend. Because they are a distance from the information that it relates to their child's behavior. So what we try to do is to encourage the teachers, the school administration, to reach out to their social partners. That includes the police officers. There are officers that are trained in communicating with children. There are officers that are trained in counseling children. We at the, I can't say for the Chauvin Road Police Station, we have an open door policy to schools. They can come and have a discussion with us. They even tour our building.
Now, I wanted to repeat that because I know that there are parents listening that feel powerless.
Then, I always say that we are there to serve the public. So when we have issues, parents reach out to us and they ask if on behalf of the school, they can bring their particular class without targeting that particular student to come to the station and have a discussion with the officers whilst on duty. I want to tour the wonderful facility of the Chauvin Road Police Station, which is equipped with a detention center for children. Then they understand that this is the situation that leads, this is where your action can lead to. And it works, and it changed their perspective on how their actions have consequences.
So you've seen some success?
We have seen tremendous success. Tremendous.
And then are officers willing to also step in as mentors for some of these children who may not have some good role models in their lives?
Yes, we know, because what we have as one of our strategies is for students, for police officers to be assigned to schools. That's one of our main strategies. So the police officer has adopted a school, and that police officer is responsible for regular visits, regular checkups, taking reports, and interacting with students, the teaching body, and the administration. So that officer has to submit regular reports as to the status of that school. Anything that takes place within that school on a crime level or even on a social level is the responsibility of the officer who has been assigned to that school itself.
All right. Well, Officer Anderson Alfred, Inspector Anderson Alfred, thank you so much for being on. And viewers, this is such important information because, we're in a situation with, we're dealing with a lot of mental problems within our student population, especially coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. We've seen it manifested in so many different ways, unfortunately on social media and things like that. And the police is here to protect and to serve, not to arrest, to protect and serve. Of course, arresting is some of the things that they do, but first of all, their mandate is to protect and serve.
Indeed, yes.
All right, again, thank you so much for being on with us. And viewers, if you have any issues, feel free to reach out. you know, hold Inspector Anderson Alfred to his commitment that he gave,
yes.
you know, that you can bring your children, you could, you know, link with the police officers, especially at the Sherburne Road Police Station, or even at any of the other any of the police stations, and get the help and the assistance that you need, even if it's just somebody to talk to. The police are there.
Indeed, thank you.
Great. All right, viewers, so we still got more coming up for you in the program. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this break.
In the internet.
Sweet like Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit DigicelTT.com or a Digicel store now.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if you're nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Welcome to Limache Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Well, viewers, we are ending this last segment. It's speaking a bit about sport, specifically cricket, one of the most beautiful games on the planet. And I know I'm on a podcast. I'm excited about that. So to speak with us this morning, we have Marcus Daniel, who's a press officer for the Tobago Cricket Association, as well as Mr. Kerwin John, the president of the Cricket Association.
Yes, good morning.
Great. And now, just before we get started, and now, Mr. John, just excuse me a bit. You know, I mean, earlier in the news, we brought to you just a little snippet of what happened with the Oceanus Dragon Boating Club. And I want to give Marcus Sander just a little chance, just a minute or two, just to talk a bit about that before we get into the cricket.
That's no problem. I mean, Oceanus Dragon Boat Club, right? They are currently in Panama. In fact, yesterday was the last race day.
Yes.
And they will have ended that 4-day event with 2 gold medals and 2 silver as well.
2 silvers now.
They are the only team from Tobago. We have 2 other teams from Trinidad, but they are the only team from Tobago, and they would have won 2 gold medals and 2 silver medals. And I think that's an outstanding achievement. Team led by Jumo Daniel. And I can tell you, their journey is an amazing journey, because we had Dragon Boat in Tobago, I think, dating back to like 2015.
Yes.
And these guys never stopped training, even though the Dragon Boat Festival was not held like probably the last 2 or 3 years because of COVID and all these different things. Those guys were training still. And they would have mentioned that they want to take their skills outside of Trinidad and Tobago, because they want to, they've been going to Trinidad and beating teams in Trinidad. And they are now in Panama against the world. And I must say commendation to Georgina Peter King, the manager of the team. She has been keeping me updated with what's happening across there. It had an unfortunate situation, I think it was on day 2, that could have actually cancelled the entire tournament. But they kept their composure, and they would have done excellent stuff representing Tobago and by extension the country. And I want to commend them for that. Some people are saying the next step for them is the Olympics.
Yes, we want to see that Tobago team in the Olympics. And this is why I had to just take a moment, out of the cricket, just to talk about Oceanus, because I mean, I am certainly very proud of them. Very I know how tough it is to do Dragon Boats. So it's not easy. And you know, that training that we do here in Tobago by Pigeon Point and so on, that was that is what prepares us, our team, to beat everybody else.
I tried it before, and I know how difficult it is. Some people believe it's just paddling, but trust me,
it's not that. It's a lot.
Core work. It's a lot of core work.
And the most important part of it is the teamwork.
Yes, you have to be coordinated. And then I'm happy that they would have branched off from just a male team. They now have a female team. And if you see the structure of those guys, the physical structure, my goodness. I mean, they put a lot of training, not just on the waters, but in the gym as well. And trust me, they don't participate for money, It's trophy and bragging rights. And to be committed to a task like that, because I know people are motivated by money.
Yes.
And for them to be committed and to go out there and represent this small island of Tobago and the country by extension and do such a good job, it's high commendation. I'm hoping that we have something planned for them when they return home.
Yes, I hope so too. So congratulations to the Oceanus Dragon Boating Club. You did us proud. And now on to cricket. Okay, so we're here really to talk about the 3rd edition of the Chief Secretary's Bago T10 Classic.
Yes. Yeah, man. I like what you term it classic. Yeah, well, we like to call it a blast, but classic is a good thing as well,
Yes.
I mean, I'll give it to the president to start it off.
Well, okay. Well, as you said, the 3rd edition of the Chief Secretary T10 Blast is on at the Sidway Stadium, starting on April 3rd and running until the 9th, 7 straight days. We have players coming in from St. Vincent, and we have since had the draw for the Trinidad players last Thursday. So each franchise would be equipped with 2 Trinidad players and 1 Vincentian.
Great. And tell me some of those names that we're going to be having here in Tobago for the
Yeah. And
there's one name I would keep for last.
Of course, we have 4 franchises as would have been the norm for since the inception of this tournament. The Little Tobago Islanders, we have the Fort King George Gunners, we have the Rainforest Rangers, and we have the Bucko Reef Divers. Last edition, we had the 2 teams being joint champions because we couldn't complete the final due to rain. As the Little Tobago Islanders and Bucko Reef Divers. This year, as Mr. John would have mentioned, we have the same kind of setup in terms of 2 Trinidad players and a Vincentian. Now, in terms of the Little Tobago Islanders, I don't want to quote who they don't have because them fellas are watching. Right, so their overseas players will basically be Mark Dial, and everyone knows Mark Dial. Mark Dial plays for the St. Lucia Kings in the CPL.
Yes.
Very good player. He plays all over the world as well. There's a young guy called Christian Turton, a very, very talented youngster. He's with them as well. And then they have the guy from St. Vincent, guy called Gideon Pope. He's so excited. West Indies, former, yes. He played with West Indies under 19 and would have done well there as well. In terms of the Rainforest Rangers, they would have went winless last edition after winning in 2019. So they would have actually retained the services of Nathan Stewart. He didn't play last edition, so he's back with them this year, and they're hoping that they can go all the way. Their overseas players are Jason Mohammed, no stranger to Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago. He's a current national player. And also Christopher Vincent. Christopher Vincent, left-arm spinner, can bat as well. A very versatile player, can bat anywhere in the order. Very dynamic player. And there, St. Vincent is a guy called Ryan Williams. Fast bowling all along, I should say. Right, that's for the Rainforest Rangers. In terms of the Buko Reef Divers, defending champions, they would have made the finals in each edition thus far. In their overseas players, Imran Khan, very, very experienced.
I was excited when I saw that.
very, very experienced. He was leg spin, and he's currently in the Trinidad and Tobago team. You can't ask for a better player in terms of experience than Imran Khan. Tishon Castro, some of us may not have heard his name before, but in terms of the cricketing sector, very, very, very explosive player. Can bowl and can bat as well. And their overseas player is a guy called Asif Hooper. I mean, if you see Asif Hooper plays, my gosh, heart and soul, energetic. He goes right down, and he's back with us again. And then the final team, the 4 King George Gunners, they won the hearts of the fans last season.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, yes. And they got supporters from way Charlottesville coming right down, and they're expecting to do the same again this year. The overseas players are Tian Webster, all along there from Trinidad. He plays with Queen's Park, and he can bat. Very, very, very talented player. And then the other player from Trinidad, a guy called Nicholas Sukdio Singh. Very short but powerful. And then they've been Vincent, I can't remember, he had a replacement there. But I will get his name. But last year they had a guy called Shaman Hooper, but he has national duties, so he can't make it this year. But he has since been replaced. So those are the guys that we have coming from overseas. And of course, we have our local players we are looking forward to seeing as well. We have Orlando James. He's now captaining the Little Tobago Islanders. And I can tell you, remember that name, Orlando James.
Orlando James.
Yes, up and coming talent.
That's a smaller brother of Joshua James.
Oh, Joshua James, yes. And
they're keeping it in the family.
Yes, and Joshua is in the mix as well. A West Indies emerging player. And yesterday he would have scored his first National League 100 against Queen's Park Cricket Club. And
congratulations, Joshua James.
And in that team, Sunil Ryan was in that team, the mystery spinner. And Joshua would have scored 116 from 141 balls. So we have Jaron Alford as well, and Selned. I have a host of young, exciting, talented players that we expect to see on show from the 3rd to the 9th of April at the Segway Sporting Complex.
Now, I mean, what is so exciting about this is to see the resurgence of cricket in Tobago, because we have a lot of cricketing talent on the island. And, you know, we're finally having a platform where we could just showcase it on, let me say, a world-class stage.
Of course. Well, you see, exactly, because that was the whole mindset in formulating this tournament. I mean, we have all the talent there, yes. T10, now we don't fool ourselves. T10 wouldn't really develop cricketers.
No.
Right? So good. So we established that. But it's about showcasing the talent that we have and putting the guys on the map to be able to be seen abroad, you know, based on the television coverage that we would have. People would be seeing you in India, North America, all over. These guys are playing well. These guys can now move on from Tobago into the bigger market.
Right. And I mean, definitely want that for our players, because for too long we've complained about our players not getting that much attention or the selection to be on like the West Indies teams or even the national team.
Exactly. And that's why we were innovative last year by trying to include the Trinidad players. For instance, Jason Mohammed, who is a past West Indies captain, who have been playing for Trinidad for numerous years. When those guys come and share the same dressing room with our local players and pass their knowledge on to the guys, that's the thing that we are looking for. It could only develop our cricket in Tobago.
And I'm very, very excited. I mean, as a former, I still play, but I'm a former player.
Stay former.
You know, and,
you had some entertaining moments last year.
Let's not go over there at all, you know. And now into administration, I'm all about ensuring that our players, they get the necessary exposure. And this platform, as Mr. John mentioned, I mean, is not the ideal format for development, but it's an advert for cricket. To get people excited about cricket and come out and, you know, just express yourself. And who knows, they can make it out in the world. Iraq Thomas is in England. I remember he played an innings in Louisville, and it got massive, massive publication, both online and traditional media as well. And, you know, a lot of persons would have actually reached out to him to get him signed. And he's now playing in England. And so many others got that exposure through the Tobago Cricket Association, and we are about exposing our players, developing our players through different platforms. This is just one. We are currently experiencing our 40 West tournament. We now into our 4th round. We still have the T20 to come, and so many other things planned for Tobago's cricket. But of course, the first thing, or the third thing, because we have completed a 2-day league already, now into the 40 overs, and then we're going to take a break to lead up to the Easter festivities with the Chief Secretary's Beagle T10 Blast.
And you know, it is not just about the players, it's about just developing that culture, or I would say reviving, because Tobago always did have that culture, but it's just about reawakening it amongst our people and making up people fall in love with cricket again.
Yeah, and we know when you have cricket in the East, they come out and they support the cricket. They support the cricket.
You know this in great sporting complex will be rocking. You know that. It's one thing. You could be guaranteed that they will be rocking. And then you move on to the final night where I told you I have like some surprise. You know, for the final night where we have the Chief Secretary Celebrity Game. You know, and stuff. So that is where, you know, I would work on inviting certain players to come
Which
to
he's
participate.
not going to tell us right now.
I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one because he is already secured and so Elvin Lewis would be here.
Nice.
Evan Lewis.
Elvin Lewis would be here.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, dynamic.
So he would be here. He already gave me his commitment. So that's fine. I'm just on the process of locking down about 3 or 4 other players.
Certainly.
I mean, I'm hoping that this year the Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine will jump out this year. I can
tell you this as well. Most likely the new West Indies Cricket Board President.
So Dr. Shallow.
Dr. Shallow will be here as well.
Yeah, something to look forward to. So this is why you need to come out and support. And on that point, tickets. How do people get tickets? What are the prices?
All right. So we it's gonna be $30 on a regular night, $50 for the finals. We have a season passes will be $200, and you could get your tickets at the venue.
At the venue, at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex. What time do the games start?
Yes, 5 and 7, 2 matches per night, 5 and 7 p.m. It's from the Monday to the Sunday. Every single night you are guaranteed entertainment. And I can tell you that we have some vendors you don't want to miss as well. So you're going to be entertained on the field and off the field. All right, so we're going to basically have 15 matches in total. Right, all at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex on the lights. The tagline or the catchphrase this year is "Come vibe with us." Right, come and vibe with the Tobago Cricket Association and of course all the cricketers in Tobago. We're starting on Monday this time around because during the week, normally we start on the weekend, but we have club cricket in Trinidad and Tobago at this time, and most of the guys will be playing on the weekend. So we're going to start on Monday the 3rd from 5 p.m. and then we have a match at 7 p.m. and then the Sunday, the night before Easter Monday, we have 3 matches. That's a playoff, then the celebrity game, and then we have the grand final. Yeah.
And this year, I think I'm in discussion and in terms of adding something new to the event, a party stand.
Yeah, man.
Party stand.
Yeah,
That's where you can go and party with your cooler, with your own DJ and stuff. Want to put it over on the other side of the complex. So across there would just be vibe. You know, when you're in the oval, you have like the Trinity
stand. Yeah.
So we want to create something.
Bring in
like
the vibe.
Across that.
Come vibe with us.
I mean, if you missed out on cricket last year, I'll tell you something. It really was a vibe. You missed out. So you definitely don't want to miss out this year because, of course, this year is going to be bigger and better than last year.
That's what we strive for. Every year you take the bar up a bit.
The CPL as a tagline, the biggest party in sport. We in Tobago and the Tobago Cricket Association with this Chief Secretary's Beagle T10 Blast, it is the biggest sporting party in Tobago. And I just say the region. Right, and we expect back persons. Because last year we had visitors from Trinidad, and come across, and we're hoping that with our partnership with this Inventing Cricket Association, we have persons coming in as well to support the cricket. Because as I mentioned before, it's a lead up to the Easter festivities, so we expect that a lot of persons will be in Tobago for that final weekend.
So folks, come out and support the cricket. The Beagle T10 Blast happening from April 4th. April 3rd, sorry.
To the 9th.
To the 9th.
7 days of exciting cricket.
On that, I want to take the opportunity to really thank the Chief Secretary. He came on board, and when he took office, the tournament had started a couple of years before, and he bought into it. And he pledged his support to keep on, holding this tournament under his office. So I really want to say thanks to the Chief Secretary for backing us up and keep giving us the support where this tournament is under his auspices, and we do look forward to doing this tournament justice so that we will make Tobago proud, him proud, and make ourselves as an association proud as well.
Yeah, and of course, as an association, I want to shout out all members of the Tobago Cricket Association, hardworking behind the scenes.
Definitely.
I want to shout out Tracy Caldera. I know that she told me that this week she's going to be caught up in trying to get a promotion in her job. So I would wish her good luck with that, and all the other members of the Tobago Cricket Association.
All right, great. Well, thank you again so much, and viewers. Yes, make sure you plan to go out every single night from April 3rd to the 9th and just get involved with the cricket and support our players, especially support our young players, because we want to see them represent us on a national, international stage.
Yes, Thank you so much.
Great. So that's how we're going to have to wrap this morning's show. Thank you for being with us, viewers. It's such a pleasure. And we'll see you again tomorrow. So have a safe and wonderful day.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.